You are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxshall, in which I chronicle my life and attempts to become a professional writer by, doing some writing daily, hopefully. Hello, today is Saturday the 21st of December 2024. You are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, and it's just struck me how many times I'm going to say the wrong year when I start next year's podcast. I'm going to go 13th of January 2024, sorry. That's bound to happen a lot because it's always weird to adjust at the beginning of a new year, isn't it? But anyway, I digress. This podcast is coming out sort of early today because I've got a few other little bits and pieces to do. I might get some writing done, I might not. To be honest, I'm probably not going to get much more done this year. If I'm totally honest, we shall see. There might be an occasion where suddenly I do, but probably not. So the main thing I've done over the last couple of days, and I've finished reading Tani's book, The Case of the Bow Street Society, Book 7. I know that the title that is on the preview copy that I read has actually changed, but I'm not going to say what this title was, or indeed what the new title is, because that's for her to announce. But I really enjoyed it. For those of you who have read it, I strongly recommend these. So it's, let me quickly tell you about it. I'm not going to go on too much, but it's series of Victorian murder mysteries. So they're set in the year 1896 and 1897. There are currently 6 books out there already. Book 7 is hopefully going to join them in, I think, well, I can't say because but it's going to be soon. It's going to be at some point in the early part of next year. And basically it's about a group of amateur sleuths who basically pick up cases for people that feel they can't go to the police or don't want to go to the police for whatever reason. And the first book is called The Case of the Curious Client. There are currently 6. There's soon to be a 7th. There's a big ongoing storyline in the background about the creation of the society, which is really, really interesting, because there's a lot of politics around who created it and why. You know fairly quickly. I'm not going to reveal it, though, if you haven't read the first book. But yeah, I utterly recommend The Case of the Curious Client, and it's currently 5, soon to be 6 sequels. It's planned as a series of 10. I know Tiny's already thinking about book 8, so that's brilliant. So yes, I've been reading it over the last month, basically. I didn't really start properly until the beginning of this month. And then the last couple of days, I've really, really got into it. So yeah, that's going to be fun. And I gave Tani her feedback last night because I'd originally said I would finish it by today, but I finished it about 10 o'clock last night and gave her the feedback last night. We were on like an audio call for about 2 hours chatting over it. But no, it's really interesting. It's a really worthy sort of addition to the series. And yeah, I thoroughly recommend it. www.bowstreetsociety.com, I think, or .com. And the books are published via Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing, KDP, which means you can either buy them as paperbacks from Amazon, or you can, if you are a Kindle user, you can either buy the individual books, I believe they're part of there's a subscription plan for Kindle available as well that they are included in. And every now and then, if you keep an eye on her social media or subscribe to her newsletter, which all can be done through the website, she'll tell you if there are, if it's been discounted or been made available, if any of the books are made available free. So yeah, that's basically what I've spent most of yesterday on and off between watching classic TV and stuff. That's what I spent most of yesterday doing. And then today, well, you may know I like my music and I like listening to stuff on vinyl. And it was announced a little while that an old album was being reissued, because a lot of the stuff that comes out now is old. Obviously, new stuff tends to be released on vinyl, but they're re-releasing back catalogue stuff. And it's not that I think it's a brilliant album, although I really do like a couple of the tracks. It's that it was very important in influencing my musical tastes. And that was the original Jean-Michel Jarre Oxygene album. And there's a track that did chart quite well over here called Oxygene Part 4, which you might remember. It goes something like da 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 da, that one. It's for me, it's a really important album, as I say, because it was my first proper introduction when I was younger to what I understood to be electronic music. And I think it was 1978. I can't remember what year it came out. I discovered it later than that. But yeah, Oxygene Part 4 is an amazing track, and I just felt it was something I should have in my music collection. So when I discovered it was being reissued on vinyl this year, I pre-ordered it, and then there's been distribution issues, so it should have come out at least, I think, a couple of weeks ago, and I got the email to say it arrived, because what I do, because I'm away from home because of my job, I don't like stuff being delivered here because there's the whole dumping it over the fence or leaving it with a neighbour nonsense to contend with, and I don't particularly like that. I hate finding a package thrown over my bloody fence and finding it in the back garden all soggy and crap. So what I tend to do now, if there's an option to have it physically delivered somewhere, like a post office or whatever, I'll do that. And HMV allow you to, when you pre-order stuff, or indeed order stuff online, you can either have it delivered to your home or have it delivered to a local HMV store, and that's what I do. So it arrived at my local HMV store in Banbury. I have a choice of two. Banbury or Northampton are about the similar distance, but Banbury I drive through whenever I go to or from work. Well, not through, but I get onto the motorway at Banbury, so it's easier. It's not putting myself out. So anyway, so it arrived in Banbury yesterday, and I wasn't going to collect it yesterday because I had other stuff to do. It's now the 21st of December. There are, after today, 3 more shopping days before Christmas. It's going to be busy as hell, and I don't really need to listen to that album today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick it up between Christmas and New Year. Anyway, that's me for today. I shall chat with you again tomorrow. But we are winding up for the year now. There's not many more of these left this year. My plan, as I say, is to stop at podcast 200. This is 198. Tomorrow I'm probably just going to say I'm going to Phoenix now. Show 200, which will be recorded in Phoenix, will literally just be a kind of a recap of what I've achieved this year and what I hope to achieve next year. And then we're done for the year. Going to have at least a week off, although there are some pre-recorded bonus podcasts going to wang their way down the line to you between Christmas and New Year. Thank you for listening. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxall. Thank you for tuning in to my random ramblings, and if you'd like to know more about me or my projects, visit my link tree at linktr.ee/Richard Wright, capital R, capital W. Thank you for listening.